situation. So if you follow me on Instagram, I got rid of the couch that we've had for almost more than a decade, the entire time we've lived in this house. So I got a new one, and I did an online interior design program, which I might talk about and review after I get some more of the furniture pieces that they recommended. So I got a new couch, completely changed up the layout. So I'm still trying to figure out where the camera's gonna go and hopefully how to make the background a little bit more interesting. So this video is gonna be the top 18 of 2018, and I'll put a timestamp down below. But for those of you who send me the kindest messages, asking me how I'm feeling or asking where videos are, I never thought to myself, hey, I'm gonna take a break from YouTube. I just thought, you know, once I feel 100% again, once I feel like myself and I get my weight down to where I want it to be, then I'll start YouTube again. And it just seems to be taking forever. And I thought, well, sometimes you can't wait until things are perfect to do them. So this is me coming back and just filming and just seeing how it goes. And for those of you who are curious, I'm filming this January 1st, and I do plan to switch doctors to somebody who specializes in thyroids and hormone balancing. So hopefully I feel very optimistic for the new year. So get things where I'm feeling a little bit more balanced and have more energy. And so that I want to kind of chase after the hobbies that bring me a lot of happiness. So that's as much as I'll do for an update, but I'll talk about it more later, maybe in an upcoming video. Today, however, I'm gonna do my top 18 of 2018. I do have a lot of lifestyle and random things, but I will start out with the beauty products. I tried a lot of concealers last year, a lot of really good ones. There was one from Cover FX I liked, one from Lancome, but my favorite was a new launch from Fitglow Beauty. This is their concealer, and I have it in shade C2. What I like so much about this, I love a concealer that you can use on blemishes, on redness, underneath your eyes. So kind of a one and done concealer. And I think if you're trying to minimize what's in your current makeup bag or what you're keeping out under your vanity or for travel, it's so nice to have a concealer that can do it all. So this has been a huge favorite, and I'm actually scraping out the last little bit in this tube, and my friend Diana, part of my Christmas present, was a brand new one. So I already have a backup, which I'm really excited about. And then for lips, the Weis Rose lip pencil. This is my favorite lip pencil. It is such a good formula, such a great color. I think it looks good on under any of the neutral lipsticks that I have. I actually went through a whole pencil last year and had to repurchase. And then on top of it, my favorite thing to wear is the Fitglow Lip Serum in the shade Buff. And this is the most beautiful nude. I'm wearing it today, and I feel like I can wear it if I've done nothing on my eyes, if I've done a huge wing or gone full smoky. So it just works for so many different occasions. And the lip serums, while I guess they are technically a lip gloss, I feel like there's so much more than that. They're just something special. They're so nourishing, and I feel like they really last a long time on my lips and just give the lips a really nice appearance. When I sat down to make this list, I knew I had to include this brush. This is from Sephora Collections, and it's the Pro Featherweight Crease Brush. If you have hooded eyes like me and there's a lot of space in between your crease and where your eyebrow is, this brush is amazing. I think the point is perfect and the size is great at just easily diffusing the color. I feel like it's effortless. Like I don't have to spend a ton of time blending out. I can take it into whatever eyeshadow I want, or even my bronzer. A lot of days I'll just take whatever bronzer I've used and just quickly run it through my crease. Just add a little bit of warmth and dimension, and then mascara, and then out the door to work. So I have actually two of these. So if one is dirty, I always have a clean one that I can reach for. And then for palettes, this was another product I knew going into this video that I had to talk about. It's from Tilbury, and it's the Instant Look in a Palette, the 5-minute Face on the Glow in the shade Beauty Glow. And I bought this right at the beginning of the year. I don't even think it was spring yet when I purchased it. And this is the most perfect travel palette ever. You have a few eyeshadows that can create a complete look. You have two different blushes, one a little bit deeper that I think would look amazing on a lot of different skin tones, but even if you're fair like me, it looks kind of scary in the pan. But I use it almost as a shaping blush to create a little bit of dimension, and then you get the pop, and you also get a bronzer contour shade and a highlighter. So this came on every single trip I took in 2018. Little weekend trips, some of my bigger trips, I always was wearing this, and I think I have it on today, and I think it creates such an easy look. And like the name says, like 5 minutes, just quickly apply it. It always looks beautiful. And Tilbury products, I don't know, there's just something glowy and gorgeous about them without feeling like you have to try too hard or like spend 30 or 45 minutes on your makeup unless you want to. Moving into shower stuff, chances are if you are my friend or family, I have probably purchased you one of these this year. It's one of those things where you love it so much you want everyone else to have it too. It's the Billie Shape Cream. This is fantastic. You need such a small amount, and when I'm using this, the Billie razor, and then following it up with the fur oil, things are so smooth and so happy. This little guy, I think out of all the beauty products at least that I'm talking about today, is my absolute favorite. It's also the cheapest thing I'm talking about today. This was a gift from my cousin Jenny, and she bought it off of Amazon. It's a little scrubber for your scalp. It's made out of silicone. I could write poems about how much I love this. This has completely changed the feel and health of my scalp. If you have any issues with dryness, itchiness, product buildup, this is fantastic. How I use it: I apply my shampoo with my fingers, and then instead of massaging with my fingertips, I just go right in with the scrubber. It feels amazing. I get all the shampoo, rinses out easily. It takes away all the product buildup, so I feel like my hair stays cleaner and fresher for longer. It feels a little bit fluffier, I guess, if that's the right word. Like I can get a little bit more volume up at my roots, but really just to have your scalp feel completely healthy is absolutely amazing. So if you have any issues, I will find the exact Amazon link that she purchased from and put it down below. My last beauty product is the Drunk Elephant Protini, and this was by far my most used morning moisturizer. I got my first jar for my birthday last January, and I think I've gone through, this is either my third or my fourth. It is so good. I love using it in the morning. I feel like I notice a difference in the texture of my skin. And then if you've ever seen those Korean skincare videos where they talk about bouncy skin, this is what Protini does for me. And so I love it. I have my own little concoction of Drunk Elephant products I mix together and apply in the morning, and it is fantastic. And as I was getting ready, I was looking on Instagram and I saw that the birthday gift for Sephora this year, one of the options is a mini Protini, and I think it was their face wash, which I also love and actually think does a really good job of removing makeup. So I'm so excited that so many more people get the chance to try it. Okay, techie type things. The first is something I've heard my sister set up with my grandma, and I thought, I don't need that. LastPass, which is a password keeper. I don't know if it's, I'm gonna be turning 32 in a couple weeks, so maybe my memory is just not what it used to be, but I finally decided last year to sign up for it. And after I put in all of my accounts, they had to have a little heart-to-heart talk with me and were like, you cannot have the same password or a variation of it for all your accounts. And that was what I found hard. I mean, at this point, I think I'm up to like 6 Gmail accounts between personal stuff and work stuff. So it was hard when I had the same password, just some of them had numbers, some of them had symbols. So LastPass said, let's scrap them all and start with really secure generated passwords. So I went through and did that all. So everything feels very secure, and then I never have to worry about forgetting passwords because it's all there within a click of the button. I only have to remember my LastPass password. So it's completely free. I just have the free version, but it has been awesome. So highly recommend. And then the other app that I knew about, I had used Dropbox for work, but my sisters, again, really loved Google Drive. And so since I was sharing a lot of files with them this past year, I just decided to do it and commit to it. So I have 3 main folders. I have a personal, a social media, and a work folder, and everything goes into there. And I can figure, I really spent time with the organizing of the folders so that I can easily find everything. It feels so good not to be weighing down my computer with tons of stuff. And I think I could even probably delete more and just really commit to that digital decluttering. But it has been awesome. I love it because even when I'm out and about, I have my phone with me, so I have access to Drive, so it's great and easy to pull up stuff. So those are 2 app type favorites. And then the last one that's a website and an app, and that is You Need a Budget. And a lot of you probably saw that coming. I did a debrief kind of reflection on last year, and one of the questions that the little journal prompt that I was going through asked was, what were you most proud of? And by far it was taking responsibility for money, and YNAB was instrumental in helping me do that. So I have an entire video where I go through the budgeting system, the principles, the book that I read. I think the book is a fantastic place to start, no matter what budgeting system you're using, and I loved all the principles I learned in it, so that was huge. And then kind of falling down that personal finance rabbit hole, I landed on the ChooseFI podcast. And at first I thought it really wasn't for me. FI is part of the FIRE community, which stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. And I thought, well, Jared's not really interested in retiring early. He loves his job. So, but anyways, I gave it a chance, and I'm still not caught up, but I'm on episode 84, 85. I have learned so much about money and really changed my entire attitude towards money. And also it's one thing to listen to podcasts, but when ones really make you want to take action. And that's what I find with the ChooseFI podcast. Really with investing money, I thought, oh, that's just for people with tons of it. No, absolutely not. And I have started it even with whatever I have, and it's just to get started. And I feel like things start to snowball, and I don't know, I just feel really, it's amazing to me in such a short amount of time how much better things can be if you really commit to it. So that has been such a huge favorite. And then with all of the budgeting, it is one thing to just save for saving's sake. I don't think I'll ever be good at that. But if I have a goal, that is what I think is really fun. And we had had so many house updates that had been on our to-do list for so long. But then when I finally saw them in each of the savings categories, before I knew it, they were all full. So we were able to do all the exterior updates that really needed to be done, just cosmetic things. And then in here, we got to do the lights, the paint, the floors, which had been, I think, a yearly goal for the past 3 or 4 years, something crazy like that. So just seeing how taking responsibility and control of money has really trickled down and made so many more aspects of our life that much happier. Travel was another huge favorite in 2018. Back in the spring, so for spring break, my friend Ashley and I went up to New York City, and it was a really short trip. I think we were there for like 4 days. We had so much fun, and I've thought about that trip, and we have relived that trip so many times. So we're already thinking about what we're doing for the next spring break. So if you've ever thought about going away and kind of having a girls trip with one of your friends, I think that was huge. And I think it also is a very strong testament. Like, if you can travel with somebody, that means your friendship is pretty strong. So I felt like that was really good for us. So we are already thinking, we're actually thinking about Portland for this upcoming spring. So starting to plan that. And then as a part of vacation, you guys know that I love Allison Anderson on YouTube, and on Instagram, her handle is Photo Allison. She did a ton of solo travel, and she was always having these amazing pictures of herself. I'm like, how is she doing this? Is she setting up a tripod in these busy streets in Europe or in Iceland, like these really isolated locations? But she had booked a vacation photographer, which is the first time I had ever heard of that. And I thought, this is such a genius idea. So when I met Kjaer in Vienna over the summer, that was the thing. I said, I'm not gonna buy any kind of souvenirs and just things to come and clutter up the bookshelf. I'm gonna spend the money I would have spent on a vacation photographer. And it was the best experience. We had the nicest woman. There was a little bit of a language barrier, but Kjaer is good enough with languages that he and her were able to communicate. And now we have these beautiful pictures that I'll be able to cherish forever. So I think this will be definitely something on our next European vacation, whenever that is, that'll be something that I set up. Something I realized about myself while traveling alone is that I don't like to have a ton of stuff in the airport. I would much rather check a bag and then feel freer, because like if you have to use the restroom and you're not traveling with somebody, you have to bring whatever you have in with you in the stall, and it just would always seem like a lot. And I'm such a nervous traveler to start out with. So the Low & Sons backpack, and I will look up the exact name, but it was a gift from my dad over the summer. It was so amazing to have everything I needed on my back, and I didn't even actually have a purse. I just had a wallet, a travel wallet that was easy to have all my documentations to pull out when I was going through security. So I loved having that backpack, and it also fit really well underneath the seat in front of me, which is an issue I'd had with some roll-on carry-ons that I had in the past. I just really liked feeling free in the airport. That was a huge thing, and it just makes me feel better, so I thought I would share it in case it worked well for somebody else. And then my favorite purchase, talking about the ChooseFI podcast, one of the things when they do interviews, they ask them all these questions. And of course, most of the episode is how people save money and have these crazy savings rate, but they always throw in this one last question and say, what is the thing you purchased that added the most value to your life? And I love it. People have the most random things, all the way from RVs to razors, like face razors that they had bought the past year that they really liked. So my thing that I think added the most value to my life was a camera. It is this little guy right here. It is the Fuji X-T20. This is a mirrorless camera, so it's much more compact than a DSLR, which is what I'm filming on right now. And I landed on the 35mm lens, and I thought this would be the perfect travel lens. I could do some landscape, some architecture, but do a lot of people pictures. But this has become so much more than my travel camera. I take it out all the time. If I'm doing anything even remotely fun that I think will be fun, if I'm meeting up with a friend or hanging out with my family, I love to bring it. And I just think the colors that come out of this camera are absolutely beautiful. So this is by far the thing I think I spent money on that brought the most value to my life in 2018. And then I'm gonna end the video on something not tangible. I joked on Instagram that I did the great declutter of 2018, and that has made such a difference in my life. And before I went on one of my trips, I think it was the big trip to see Kjaer, I try to deep clean everything from top to bottom in the house. That way, heaven forbid something should befall me, I just have this picture of my mom having to like come and take care of stuff, and just turning to my dad and being like, I don't know how Ashley lived like this, because my mom is a clean freak and I'm the exact opposite. So the day I had set aside to do this deep cleaning, halfway through the day I was done, and I thought, what have I forgotten? It always takes me a full day to get everything accomplished. I realized it was because I had done that huge declutter that it just makes cleaning so much easier. So that might be like a duh thing to you, but that was a huge realization for me. So I still, even though I did so much, there's still so much that I can do. So I'm actually gonna do one of those minimalism games, which I love watching on YouTube. That is my guilty pleasure, to search for that and then watch those videos. It's basically where you start the day, January 1st, whatever month or day you wanna start off, and you declutter one thing. So January 1, one thing, two things. So by the time you're up to the 15th, you have to declutter 15 things. So I'm starting that today. I'm actually really excited, and I think I'm just gonna go through my house level by level and just see all what I can declutter. So that is it for my top 18 things from 2018. I would love to know what some of your favorites are, the thing that you found, beauty product, lifestyle, whatever, or a book you read that really made an impact on your life. So please leave that in a comment down below. I would love to read it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you again very soon.